Alrighty, guys. It is a Wednesday afternoon, and life happens, and sometimes the videos don't go up as scheduled, and that is totally fine because we're here with a live, and I'm really excited to just get to chat a little bit about what you guys have asked for us to chat about. The majority of you asked to talk about homeschooling multiple children. Then we'll also talk about working while homeschooling a little bit, and possibly online teaching if that's something that you're interested. But if you are here, please do say hi in the chat. I would love to hear who you are, where you're coming from, and if you have any questions, just pop them in there. Let's go ahead and just get started. So if we don't know each other, hi, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Melissa. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. I'm originally from the United States of America, the great Commonwealth of Virginia, but I currently live in South America. And our family, we have 4 kiddos ranging from, we're about to have a bunch of birthdays, but currently they are 10, 8, 6, and 4. So you can kind of get the gist of what our family homeschool dynamic kind of looks like. As we homeschool, we've kind of homeschooled from the beginning. Our kids have never attended a traditional school. So if that's something that you're thinking about, kind of starting from the beginning, if you've got tinies, or if you're thinking about kind of going the route of pulling kids out of traditional school and beginning homeschooling, toy with that idea too. Let me know if that's something that you're thinking about in the chat. Again, let us know where you're coming in from. Pop those questions in there if you've got them. I would love to answer them as they come in. So as for homeschooling multiple kids, with the kids that we have in our family, because that's really the only experience I can speak to, right? You're going to have your own experience with this. But here's what it looks like. I've kind of taken into account 3 things in particular. One is like skill set. Right? We've got kids who maybe are pre-readers, kids who are readers, kids who are obsessive readers. We've got also like interests. So are we going for like dinosaurs and unicorns? Or are we going for like World War II and black holes? There's a difference there. So skills, interest, and maturity level. Now, maturity could mean a lot of things, right? It could mean like their interpersonal skills are well developed. They're going to get along with each other. They're going to support each other, maybe ask to help another child. Hey, can I help her with spelling words today? Hey, can I help her with reading this book today? Hey, can I read to her before nap time today? Things like that might be an interesting kind of dynamic to lean into. So those interpersonal skills, as well as the intrapersonal skills or intelligence. These are all Gardner's multiple intelligences. So the intra, as in inside yourself, intelligence of knowing, hey, I am feeling overwhelmed. I'm able to like participate well because I'm feeling like my tasks and my needs are being met. So I'm willing to kind of pour out of that cup that's already full. Does that make sense? So I think as parents, we definitely have multiple kids. We need to be careful that we are not asking kids. There's a place and a time for kids to kind of have a servant's heart and really help their siblings with things. But that's definitely not something that we're always going to do. It's not their job. But there is a really beautiful dynamic that can come of that. So definitely something to keep in mind. So those 3 areas again, skills, who's reading, who's not, their interests. Are we going for dinosaurs and unicorns? Or are we going for black holes in World War II? Or are we looking at the maturity level? So when you take those 3 things into account, you can kind of put together, I don't know, unit studies. You could put together subjects. We've done like a botany study from the good and the beautiful before. There are ways that you can kind of pair off kids. So for example, our kids tend to pair pretty naturally. Our older 2 who are 8 and 10 at the moment, and our younger 2 who are 6 and 4, they'll pretty naturally pair off. And so, hey, you 2 go play upstairs, go ride bikes, go skate, go do something while I do something with these 2. Right? Maybe we'll do a craft project. We love the travel art membership from Art Ventures Animals. And so our younger 2 tend to have been a little bit more interested in that than our older 2. But it's just things like that you can kind of find common interests. What can we work together on? And then from there, kind of draw out those interests, draw out those tasks. Something I love is finding things that can be differentiated. Now that's a teaching term. So if any teachers out there, give me a little heart in the comments if this is something that you have experienced before. But differentiation is something of a buzzword where we've got this whole class of 30 kids and we need to meet all these different needs, right? For my 4 kids, right? That's going to be something different than it's gonna be in a classroom of 30 kids, right? But I can still differentiate, break it into chunks. Who needs what in order to succeed at this task or in this topic? So an interesting thought. Let us know in the comments, perhaps, if you are working on that. If kind of the content side of things, or maybe it's the time management side of things that's a little tricky. This could be making sure you have enough time for each kid to feel seen and heard. Remember, homeschool isn't just school at home. It's also going out and running errands together, or dedicating time to a project. So maybe we skip language arts today, and you and we count out the money that you need to buy these materials for this craft project that you want to do that kind of is tangential to something that you're working on in language arts or history or science or math or whatever. So that sort of thing ties in financial literacy. It gets you that kind of one-on-one me time with mom or dad. And you're able to then tie in a few different subjects together, right? We're tying in a little bit of math with, hey, do we have enough money? Did they give us the right change at the cash register? That sort of thing, as well as planning, getting that task management set up. Executive functions. You guys, if you've been here for a little while, you know I love talking with my friend Carrie Bonnet. She is an executive function coach. If you haven't, go check the playlist where this live is located. Also have videos, 2 interviews with Carrie about how to encourage executive function skills in your kids, because we often assume that they're going to know how to anticipate. Oh, we're going to the store. I definitely need to know what I need to buy. That might not be in their brains yet, right? They might forget to bring money, right? Let's make a list of the things that we need to do to get ready to go to the store, and then we'll be set to go. We won't be disappointed. We can avoid kind of some of these feelings that we might have felt before. If you can draw back on that kind of social emotional learning, hey, how have you felt before when you weren't prepared for something? All right, let's switch that. Let's flip it on its head this time and try to be prepared, try to anticipate those problems. What can we do? That sort of thing. So those are some ways that we can get that one-on-one time, getting content in that kids need to learn. I would also say, this has been really cool, watching the inside joke nature of all of our literary adventures. So we love Harry Potter. So we'll be like, Yoda is kind of like Dobby. They're both kind of like guides or helpers for the main character. One of my kids said that this morning, and I was like, yes! I love that she already had the vocabulary of Star Wars, which we've never seen, but we've got Star Wars books and stuff. So she had the vocabulary to know that Yoda was kind of a guide for people. Luke Skywalker, maybe, and or Han Solo. No, probably not Han. Oh gosh, y'all, I am woefully Star Wars ignorant. But anyway, a guide there. And then Dobby in Harry Potter is kind of like a helper, somebody who shows up at the right time when he's needed. Right. We also have a set of books. They tend to be Newbery winning books. That list just has a lot of different areas that I like to pull from and teach from, because I can often sneak a lot of history into our literature time. So in unit studies and book studies, that's a great way to kind of combine topics. If they're reading a novel, let's have them learn about World War II, when Hitler stole Pink Rabbit, or the war that saved my life, the war that I finally won. Those are all great books for World War II, the Great Depression, Bud Not Buddy, the 80s, the Challenger mission. We Dream of Space is a great one for that. So anyway, I talk about this a lot in our curriculum videos. The what do you use for playlist is a great place to find those. But all that said, that is the idea of kind of homeschooling multiple kids. We try to weave in as many threads as we can. We also try to keep costs down because I am not trying to buy multiple books for multiple kids if I don't have to. So for example, our language arts curriculum is The Good and the Beautiful. Their curriculum is very affordable compared to a lot of others, kind of hovers between 50 and 70, maybe 80 a year. So we'll buy one first grade, or level one, as they call it, one level one, one level two, one level three, four, and we're up to, I think, 8 now. And I just copy the pages that they need to write on. We're not going to buy a new book every time. Same thing with the workbooks. Whenever possible, we're going to just make a copy and have them use that instead of consuming the page, right? That'll keep costs down. I love using Teachers Pay Teachers. There's so much free stuff on there, you guys. If you're not using Teachers Pay Teachers as a very, very helpful resource in finding things, a lot of times we just need one worksheet or one activity or one craft or one way to practice something. And then we've got an idea, or we've got another resource that kind of comes to mind. Or maybe you see, oh, wow, this person has designed something really cool. I'm going to buy 20 of these from them. And it's so cheap. It's so much cheaper than buying from these huge curriculum companies. And you're supporting other teachers and homeschool moms and stuff like that. So don't sleep on TPT. A lot of you know that I also create resources and I sell them on TPT. I also sell them in my store at melissasteaching.com. But those are things that have been born out of our homeschooling journey. My kids, whenever you see one on there, the Knight's Journey, the ocean adventure, the jungle adventure, the jungle trek, the desert survival. Those were all things that my kids kind of helped me dream up. Some of the things that you guys have loved the most, the crazy school day one, my kids helped me come up with. My teacher is a talking duck, or the bathroom has become a swimming pool, right? Or there's a circus on the playground. All these things are just fantastical and fun, and kids love them. Families tend to enjoy them too. So check out TPT, not just my stuff, but there's a lot of stuff out there that is so good for so many different topics. So a very great place to find resources. I will say welcome again to those of you who are watching. Feel free to throw questions and introduce yourself in the chat. We'd love to make sure this is helpful for you. But let's go ahead and continue into kind of working while homeschooling. So working while homeschooling, this for me kind of looks like finding work blocks. So perhaps this is true of you. I know I've spoken to a lot of teachers and parents recently who have said, I have a newborn and I can get a lot of work done with them just on my lap. That's great. Do that. Or if you've got older kids, then maybe they go somewhere for a certain amount of time, or maybe they're asleep until 7:30 in the morning and you're able to teach from 5:30 to 7:30 or something like that, a schedule that works for you. These are the types of things that are really going to free you up to find a job, a side hustle, whatever you want to call it, that will bring in important income for your family, right? This can help pay off debt. This can help cover a grocery bill, pay for activities for your kids, that sort of thing. So keeping that in mind, there are work blocks that you can work with, and feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. I answer every one of those comments. But letting you kind of look at what your availability is and figuring out what is the best for me. Is it online teaching, live online teaching? Is it self-paced, recorded classes, pre-recorded classes where kids will watch a video of you, practice a concept, turn it in, get feedback from you, that sort of thing. So you don't have to be on in front of a computer. Is it creating digital resources? In the Evergrow BizMom membership that I run, we talk a lot about that. And we talk about setting up stores. Is it a TPT store? Is it your own store? Are you selling these to everybody or just to your online tutoring students? Are they adult students, kids that you're teaching? Are you on a platform? Are you teaching independently? There's a lot to take in, but that's what that membership is for. So again, melissasteaching.com for all that information. But all that to say, there is a lot of flexibility. And I'd say lean into that when it comes to working from home and homeschooling. You don't have to work even 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day, you can make an important amount of income to kind of help support your family and help you feel a little bit fulfilled. Perhaps you left a career in order to homeschool. Perhaps you've got this kind of creative itch that you're needing to scratch, and this could be the way to do that. So lots of ideas. Feel free to get in touch in the comments if that's something you're excited about. You guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope this was helpful for some of you. If it spurred any ideas, sparked any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, and maybe we'll do some more of these. Memberships are live on this channel now. So if that's something that you are interested in, I may be offering some members only lives, which might be helpful for some of you. So I hope that was a fun live. I know it was good for me to talk about. So glad you guys are here who were able to pop in. Thanks for being here, and happy teaching.